So I want to introduce myself, Ben Beinfield. I work for Worldwide Technology. We're a systems integrator and value-added reseller based in St. Louis. I've been with the firm for just about 8 years, and prior to that worked in public sector IT in the city of New York, and have worked in education as well. So my current role with Worldwide is in the transportation sector. So that's kind of part of why I'm here. And in fact, I think a company like ours, so we're strictly in the enterprise IT space, but we are finding ourselves drifting much more into the OT, SCADA networks, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So what I'd like to do today is talk a little bit about kind of how we approach projects. We're very much use case driven, solving problems for our customers. And with that integration comes a variety of platforms and different types of partnerships. So strictly speaking, I don't know if I'm going to touch on all the different aspects of smart city value, platform value, but I will touch on a couple things. Hopefully it'll be interesting to you. Oops, I lost one. So just real quick, this is kind of our go-to-market as a company. Again, we've grown up in the Cisco and the HP, Dell data center, collaboration, networking. That's kind of where we've cut our teeth. We've grown significantly to add a lot of services capabilities, which help us enable to have the conversations with customers, as you can see across the top. So on the one hand, we have kind of a digitization, digital journey type of approach, which is really about experiential technologies, and then also more into the operational and business side around analytics, IoT, et cetera. So looking at something like a smart city or any kind of IoT deployed infrastructure, a lot of integrations, requires a lot of different kind of areas of expertise. So with that, you can see we have kind of our traditional in the infrastructure space, understanding what the networks are, security components, but really it takes a lot of different disciplines to really drive forward meaningful, use case driven, business outcome type of solutions. In the IoT space, we kind of have this reference architecture, you might say. So if you look at from the edge, the sensors, how those sensors transmit data to gateways. In fact, one of our key gateway provider partners is here in the room, Fiber. Talk a little bit about their integration with us and how important that is to us. Traversing that data across a network to a data center, to a cloud, leveraging IoT platforms, AEPs, et cetera, and what that means in terms of software, visualization, user experience, et cetera. So we kind of have, and again, probably one of the keyest, most important things here is the security wrapper around all of that. So big part of our focus is that security architectures have a lot of capabilities around that, but really understanding that security is critical because as we know, IoT has its vulnerabilities and it's important to understand how all those work together. One other thing I just touch on real quick, one of the things that we work really hard on is making sure we have the ability to demonstrate and host and show different solutions in our lab environments as a company. And so specifically, I pulled up some of the big data or data analytics types of platforms. We have most of those flavors, so we can bring in large data sets and do different kinds of testing. Again, it's just another thing that we can bring to make sure that customers are making the right decisions around how this data is going to flow, what are the right platforms. So when we get back to the platform discussion, a lot of times we will have those or we can acquire those platforms for testing purposes. It's a big differentiator for us, and I think it helps customers make the right decisions. So real quick, just going to kind of talk about a story again. This is more of a fleet story. It happens to be in the mining space. And this is just kind of a demonstration of bringing together different disciplines of what we're able to do as a company. So in this case, we're talking about a large copper mine where they have these massive Caterpillar trucks giving off huge amounts of sensors, data all the time. And the company really had no ability to absorb the massive amounts of data coming at them from their trucks. So we put data scientists to work, we put data platform experts to work, business analytics to work to really change, and this is where we get to some of the business value aspects. So in a mine, and this could be like a city, could be any type of fleet environment, the roadway maintenance information is critical. So with these large mining trucks, their suspensions will actually tell you a lot about the conditions of the roadways. So if you're a mine operator, you're trying to lessen the impacts on your trucks as they run, if you're trying to speed up your haul cycles, knowing that information allows your crews to fix those roadways in ways that doesn't have as much wear and tear on your trucks. And that's just one business case here. There's many around the actual hauling, the condition of the engines, preventive maintenance, all these different things. So here's just some of the technologies that came to bear. We're not in the mining business, but again, how we look at it is give us your data, give us your platform issues. We bring all those things together in meaningful ways. So again, some of the outcomes. This is a business example because this very well could be a city example in terms of, let's say it's a fleet, your streets or sanitations department, how that has impacts on those vehicles. Maybe it's your city bus, et cetera, et cetera. I want to touch real quickly on a different type of platform that we developed called Mobile Field Kit. It was originally developed for the military, for the detection of radiological, biological weapons, those kinds of things. This happens to be a mobile IoT platform. It's come a long ways. It's now used, for example, it was just used at the Super Bowl a few days ago. If you ever at one of those events, you see guys walking around with backpacks they're basically carrying sensors. And I'll get to the point of why I have this in here in a second. But again, this is IoT. This dates back almost 20 years, this platform. It's been used Homeland Security, Department of Defense. Again, it's a sensor aggregation using a variety of different communications protocols. And has evolved tremendously, as you can see, onto the Android platform and other things like that. So again, in this case, I want to just point out that, again, we do not build an IoT platform, but we look for partners, integrations that make a lot of sense for the use cases that we're working towards. So in this case, we have another Department of Defense example where we're leveraging the Fiber platform, FYBR platform, as our LoRa gateway provider, and we're bringing in IoT sensors. In this case, they happen to be custom made using a LoRa type of protocol, which is very lightweight. These are often battery-powered sensors that can last a long time, and those get aggregated into our platform as well. Some of the key aspects of this is, again, the security. So with the Fiber platform, sensors are custom made with end-to-end hardware-based encryption, which is a huge differentiator when you're talking about deployed sensors and making sure that data is secure. So for us, in this use case, for this customer who use these platforms in urban settings with large spectator events, that security is absolutely critical. Yeah, just to wrap up, so security is probably one of the biggest areas where we are focused right now in sort of smart city space, IoT platform space, so it can't be stated enough. I think that's probably my last slide. Thank you so much.